Shalom to my brothers and sisters who are in the body of Yahushua HaMashyah and to the scattered Hebrew Israelites. And today I bring you a reminder about this week of the moon. For this shall be the first week of the moon. So the title of this reminder is Adar 3rd, the completion of Yahuwah's temple. Adar 3rd, the completion of Yahuwah's temple. So today is March the 1st, 2017 AD, and it's Wednesday. And for those who are familiar with the Hebrew Israelite biblical history, you are aware that during the days of Ezra, Nehemiah, Zerubbabel, and Joshua the high priest, they had completed the temple. And this temple completion occurred after their Persian Mede captivities. Okay? So now we're going to take a look at the calendar for this week. And what you see here, I have a calendar for the 11th month, and I have a calendar, and I have two calendars for the 12th month. And to get more understanding on why I have two calendars for the 12th month, I will put the video link that is titled Prophecy Fulfilled. The new moon did not show at the appointed time. So here you see two calendars for the 12th month. For in Israel and throughout the world, they saw the new moon on February the 27th at sundown. However, the second calendar that you see for the 12th month, I had put the first day to start on February the 26th at sundown and to end on February the 27th at sundown. And the reason is because a full moon can only be on the 14th or 15th day. However, I know everyone would not receive this, so this is why I did two calendars, so you can choose what you want to follow, and therefore you can keep up with the biblical historical activities that happen in this month, and also with the holy feast days that are coming up. Excuse me. For this is the 12th month, and this month is called Adar, and this name Adar can be found in the Bible. So let us begin. So this is the first week of the moon, and within this first week of the moon, when you read your Bible, you will come to find out that Yahuwah's temple was completed on Adar 3rd. So what we're about to take a look at, we're going to read some scriptures. And I'm also going to give you some homework because to get a full understanding of what happened after my people came out of the Persian Mede activity and to see what obstacles they went through when they was rebuilding the temple in the city of Jerusalem. You want to get a pencil and paper to write this down first. The books that you would need to read are the book of Nehemiah, Ezra, Haggai, the book of Zechariah, and Daniel's chapter 1 to chapter 11. And in chapter 11, read verse 1 to 4. Now, those books are listed in the Old Testament. And also, you will need to read First Esdras. And Esdras is just another way to spell Ezra. First Esdras is listed in the Apocrypha. And I will put the link of the King James 1611 Bible in the video description box so you can have access to that Bible. For those who have a copy of the King James Version, I'm letting you know that Bible had omitted a lot of things. And you need to get access to the King James 1611 Bible. You can review this online, or you can get your copy at websites such as Amazon.com. For I got my copy for around about $20. And check out other sites, and also check your local bookstores and your local, like your Salvation Armies and places like that, because you can get this book at a reasonable cost. But it's all according to your will, what you desire. And our Father in heaven tell us, whatever you ask for, it shall be given to you. I almost forgot to mention this, but we are still in the winter season, for the sun has not entered into Aries. Aries is the first star constellation of Mazzaroth that is mentioned in Job chapter, I believe it's chapter 32. No, not chapter 32. It is chapter, I know it's in the book of Job, but look for the above description box for the verse where you can find the word Mazzaroth. However, the sun shall be entered in the first star constellation on it was going to fall in between on March the 19th at sundown to March the 20th at sundown. Okay, I'm going to get you that specific information. And that sun shall enter Aries on March the 20th at 12:29 p.m. Israel Standard Time. Okay. Also, FYI, do not forget about the daylight saving times that will occur in the month of March. So you will have a period of time that America shall be 6 hours behind Israel. And once Israel change their time to daylight saving hours, then America will go back to being 7 hours behind Israel. That's FYI, which is very important. Okay. So I do want to mention this. When you read 1 Esdras chapter 7 and you get to verse 5, it's going to say that Yahuwah's holy house, which is another word for tabernacle or temple, was completed on the 23rd day of the month of Adar. This is why it's very important for you to have a copy of the 1611, because in your side note of this book, it's going to give you an understanding why this verse say the 23rd of Adar, because the side note going to tell you it was the third day of the 12th month. Okay. And the precept is Ezra chapter 6, verse 15. So that will eliminate confusion for you. Again, this is why it's important for you to have a copy or for you to have an access. Also with this picture that you see here. And I'm going to go to another link. It's from the same site, but I'm going to this another link that this site provides where you can see this picture with the scriptures more clear. So it's 1 Esdras chapter 7, verse 5. And you can see on the side note, it's letting you know that the 23rd day of the month of Adar is actually the third day. That will eliminate confusion. So when you read Ezra in the Old Testament and you go to chapter 6, verse 15, it will say the third day of Adar. Okay? So I do want to make this clear. So I shall read to you 1 Esdras chapter 7. 1 Esdras chapter 7. Sidereal and others help forward the building. The temple is finished and dedicated. The Passover is kept. And FYI, when you see that the temple is dedicated, it also pertains to the same manner as what happened in the book of Maccabees when they had Hanukkah. Because we know the word Hanukkah means dedication. And to understand what dedication is, you have to go back to the Old Testament, because when the temple is completed, it has to be consecrated and sanctified back to Yahuwah. So certain steps have to be done for it to be devoted back to Yahuwah. Okay? So first Ezra chapter 7, verse 1. Then Sinsins, the governor of Coelostria, and Phinehas, and Sathra-Bazans, with their companions, following the commandments of King Darius, did very carefully oversee the holy works, assisting the ancients of the Jews and governors of the temple. And so the holy works prosper. When Aggeus and Zechariah the prophets prophesied. And I want to let you know, remember, the Apocrypha was written in Greek. So Aggeus is another word for Haggai. Okay? And as you can see, we have what? Gentiles who are in prominent positions supporting the Hebrew Israelites in building the temple. Okay? For those who follow the Most High commandments, you would see that he would give you favor among the Gentiles, even in their time of rulership. For we know we are in the Gentiles' times to rule over us. But however, he would give us favor, just like he gave our ancestors favor. Also look at Daniel. But let us continue to read. Verse 4. And they finished these things by the commandment of Yahuwah, El of Israel, and with the consent of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxias, kings of Persia. And thus was the holy house finished in the 23rd day of the month, Adar, in the 6th year of Darius, king of the Persians. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and other that were of the captivity, that were added unto them, did according to the things written in the book of Moses. And to the dedication of the temple of Yahuwah, they offered 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and 12 goats for the sin of all Israel, according to the number of the chief of the tribes of Israel. The priests also and the Levites stood arrayed in their vestments, according to their kindreds, in the service of Yahuwah El of Israel, according to the book of Moses, and the porters at every gate. Verse 10. And the children of Israel that were of the captivity held the Passover the 14th day of the first month. After that, the priests and the Levites were sanctified. And FYI, my people, this is why it's very important to go back and read the other books. For the other books would give you the other pieces to the puzzle of this biblical historical event. For when you read Ezra chapter 6, you will learn that the 12th month of Adar followed into the first month, which is called Abib. So this is why you see them mentioning the Passover. Okay, let us continue. Verse 11. They that were of the captivity were not all sanctified together, but the Levites were all sanctified together. And so they offered the Passover for all them of the captivity, and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. So as you can see in this verse, guess what? They know how Yahuwah is. He's very particular. So Israel could not offer the Passover. So the Levites had to step in for Israel because they were sanctified and clean. So they offered the Passover on their behalf. Okay? Verse 13. And I'm sorry. verse 13. And the children of Israel that came out of the captivity did eat, even all day that had separated themselves from the abominations of the people of the land, and sought Yahuwah. And they kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days, making mercy before Yahuwah. For that he had turned the counsel of the king of Assyria towards them, to strengthen their hands in the works of Yahuwah of Israel. So, my family, take this time, take this week to study the biblical history of the Hebrew Israelites and study about what they did following after the Persian Mede captivity. Again, my people, you will want to read the book of Nehemiah, Ezra, first chapter, the book of Haggai, the book of Zechariah, and Daniel chapter 1 to 11, and in chapter 11, verse 1 to 4. For as you can see, we have a great deal we can learn from our people and see what they did, because they gave us a great example. They put away the abominations, the things that Yahuwah hate, such as idols, idolatry, fornication, and all the other sins that are listed in Torah. And they turned their heart back to the Most High. So they're giving us an example to follow, my brothers and sisters, for we must do the same in this captivity. We must turn our heart back to Him and give Him our all and keep His commandments, even as Yahushua HaMashyah instruct us to do. For we must keep the law through Yahushua, because through Yahushua we can fulfill the law. So as you can see, my family, the law was not done away with, but Yahuwah provided a better way for us so we can keep and fulfill the law. And that way was Yahushua HaMashyah, who is the salvation of Yahuwah. So my family, continue to preach the gospel, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize them in the name of Yahushua HaMashyah. For we know this is the season for the King of Kings, the Messiah, the Anointed One, the Son of Adam, which means the Son of Man, and the Son of Yahuwah to return. So for you, my brothers and sisters who are following the new moon crescent that was written in Israel, that day shall be for you on the 3rd day of the month, of the 3rd day of the 12th month. And it shall fall on March the 1st at daylight, and end on March the 2nd at daylight. For others, such as myself, who is going by the full moon being on the 14th day, that day shall fall on us on the 3rd day of the 12th month, which is March the 28th at sundown to March the 1st daylight. And I need to make one correction. For those who are following the new moon crescent that was witnessed in Israel, the day that the temple was completed fell on the 3rd day of the 12th month. So for you to honor that day will fall on March the 1st at sundown and end it on March the 2nd at sundown. And forgive me for that error. Take this time now to pause your screen to see the other things that will be happening this week. And I love you all, and Shalom.